brothers, sisters, generals, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, may that great divine come in your life and bring nothing but blessings for oneself and family. Gotta stay in there and stay strong. Things coming at us at all angles. And those who are aware, we see this. And I think that power that I draw from, I honor thy ancestors, those who fought hard through tooth and nail, man, with the least amount of tools to get many of us in that great divine space we are in. And welcome to another edition of EBX discussion. I'm always going in nature and pulling down those divine thoughts. It's wonderful when we can do that. It's not easy all the time, but it's wonderful when we can. But as I heard a great brother say, we have to practice on these things and get to know that inner self. It's the one self, true self, deep within, that divine voice deep within, whatever way it takes to get to the base of that soul. I'm always rhyming. I don't do it on purpose. It's just a part of me. That's what happens in life when we are seeking righteous things. That's exactly what will come. And it'll come how? Seventh nature. It'll come without even trying, because when you mean well at the base of the soul, when you got good intentions, righteous intentions, and you're for real, good things will just automatically radiate off of us. And that's family member, brother or sister, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, place that gold all over our families. May all of our families prosper and everything we touch turn to gold. And, a true brother is unlike no other. But I'm going to speak on ways to maintain being a true brother, and maybe some advice on becoming a true brother for my young brothers out there, and maybe a little teaching from our sisters, that's listening, a little insight coming from a brother's perspective. I always like to put that disclaimer. I'll never want to come off like I think I know everything, just experiences, been on this planet for a while. And, once we become aware, like a lot of our preachers and teachers out here that's been putting those teachings down and got their foot on the ground, and they getting it in, some in the world, some online. We talking about the true brothers. So this is for the brothers. And this is kind of a continuation of my EBX meditation where I had Malcolm X speaking. And the topic of that was real brotherhood. And it's nice when we have it, and a lot of times it's not all now, like it said in that meditation podcast, all of us have a common enemy. There is an evil entity or entities that wants to rule the world and rule overall. If we can just know that and stop fighting amongst ourselves, brothers, because I don't like that word hate, but it's one thing I hate. I hate beefing and confrontations for no reason. No, we have discussions. We work through things. We study ways to come up with solutions, not get caught up in our own feelings, master one's emotions, unless you just toxic and you don't give a damn and you just looking to harm someone. Then you can sit your ass down and let that great divine deal with you. And it will, because there's no exceptions when it comes to karma. I'm talking about negative things, because there's a such thing as positive karma. But if you rotten to the core, and it could be brother or sister, but we speaking on brothers right now. If you rotten to the core, then it's just a matter of time before bad things come back upon you. And it will happen, because that's what develops a great like-minded reacher or teacher, brother or sister. But we talking about brothers. When we learn from those things we did wrong in the past, remember, every right choice we make, we elevate. So if you don't care and you want to live willy-nilly, and what's really sad, you have individuals that are smart and are aware and fortunate, maybe physically, mentally, but they're using their powers for evil and bad, which is very sad, especially if you're a brother. So as many of us has came through impossible things, impossible wars and storms. And, again, if I can do it, if other brothers that have been through the storms can do it, we all can. It just takes time to get connected with that inner voice that tell us, because a lot of us are not dumb. I'm talking about those who are healthy, mind, body, and soul, and can see, hear, and feel and you're pretty much healthy in your psyche. But you choose to be evil or do something toxic. Okay, then that's on you. And that's the sad part. We have intelligent brothers, but using their intelligence for the wrong thing, which is not intelligent. Because you're intelligent when you make right choices and you grow and you help others to grow and you impact the world in a positive way. That's intelligence. Because if you choose to do wrong, choose to do someone wrong or do wrong, that's not intelligence. That's stupidity. So, but you might be a little clever. You might be a little sneaky and smart in your evil ways, but not intelligent. Because a real intelligent brother stands tall through every storm, stands with his significant other, which is his sister, and his children, his family, the best way he can, even through the mistakes we might make, but we still stand firm like a man. We be willing to discuss anything, face anything, and that's a true brother, unlike no other. And we have to pinpoint our triggers. That's what maintains a brother. I was going to say that a minute ago and I didn't say it. We have to pinpoint our triggers and teach our triggers to our younger brothers. I was having a discussion with my 9-year-old, and again, like I've said, it's not easy for children, sisters too, but I'm talking about young brothers right now, especially a 9-year-old, anywhere in that age frame. It's hard for them to maintain their emotions and their feelings and stuff, but that's why us brothers, we teach them, whether they are our son or not. If it's just a friend, a friend of a friend, or my spiritually adopted children, like I have, I've been in their lives 10 years. It's been wonderful, and my son's mom has been some ups and downs, but we still standing firm and working on those triggers. But I had a discussion with my 9-year-old, and I told him only he can control him. And he had to, how you have the brothers where they, the siblings have that rivalry, if I could say that right, sound funny, rivalry. And they fight. And siblings gonna do that, but you guide them and don't let it get out of control. And you gotta that's when they start learning their emotions and their triggers and stuff. So I was telling him only he can control him. And if he wants to stop arguing, then he has to stop arguing. He has to take responsibility up for himself and not just look at his brother or any other sibling he's arguing with. He got sisters too. But, that'll happen. They stay in the same room. You stay in the same room from year in, day out. Every now and then you're going to bump a little heads and argue. That's what siblings do. But it's all about control and not letting it escalate and remembering that that's your brother or sister. So that's what I was teaching my son, tell him he has to control him. And I was explaining to him one day he's going to have children. One day he's going to be a man. He's not always going to be a young man, because I speak to him like a man. I don't talk to him like a child. And I told him one day he's going to have children. So, and you're going to be in the world, and so learn what you can from mama and daddy. So you be ready when you're on your own. And if you come into children or have a wife or a girlfriend, so I'm just kind of spitting some jewels to him as well as I do his other siblings. And my son, Lord Lamont, salute. He's going to be all right. They all going to be great. Because it's in them. It's in my family. It's in our DNA. We handle our shit. We're not perfect, but a lot of us are standing firm and do what we're supposed to do in this life. And, we're not saints or nothing like that, but we're not out here trying to hurt no one or looking for trouble or nothing like that. And just trying to maintain in this so-called matrix, because everybody's walk is different. Every corner of the world, people are going through different things. Some good, some bad. But in the event, stay with it and, and lose ourselves in our willpower. Again, my brothers, man, a true brother is unlike no other. But to stay a true brother, we got to study those impulses and pinpoint our triggers. Now, let's speak on the triggers. And before I get to the triggers, and it was a nice discussion with my 9-year-old. And like I said, just dropping some jewels on them like I do the rest of my siblings, And it's made that great divine come into my children's life and just protect them, keep them strong, responsible, prosperous, and healthy. And that's my biological children, my spiritually adopted children, and the children in my family. My brother, my sister, my biological brothers and sister. May that great divine protect them as well as the rest of one's family. Just protect us, keep us strong, forging forward, as well as reachers and teachers, those who may listen. Leaders and teachers, we are not followers, we're generals with a student spirit. So, and I told my son, good talk. That was a good man to man talk. Because again, I speak to him like a man. I speak to him because he's very intelligent. So, I speak to him that way. And he's so intelligent, he even helped his older brother with his math. Now, that's wonderful. Those are the things I'm trying to teach him to cling to, things to help his sibling and himself. So that was a good discussion with my son, and I just wanted to use that as an example of developing a true brother from the get-go, because you got to get them from young. It's not easy all the time, but as us great fathers say, our great brothers say, we got to keep chipping away. We got to stay at it, be different, explore, be creative, find different ways to touch that soul, touch that heart of our young brothers. We got to change up, do different things to get their attention. And I'm learning that, So salute to my children, and they're going to be great because that great divine protection has been placed over them. All right. So let's get to triggers, because that's what maintains a true brother and keep us true. Now, this is for brothers young or old that want to learn, that want to maintain, that want to do right. Now, it's sad when we got grown adults. I call them adult adolescents. If you're a grown adult and you still doing childish shit and toxic and you're petty and you're doing dirt to people, I feel sorry for you. So we're not even going to talk about you. Great divine, we're going to set your ass off in the corner, and we're going to let karma deal with that ass. Because we talking about the righteous, true brothers out here, young and old, that's been through the fire and will go through more fire. I always said, I don't care what I've been through with my children and other things, I will go through it again. Because if I wouldn't have went through the things that, and a lot of us have went through, we wouldn't have went through the things, through the fires we went through, we wouldn't be the strong brother we are today. So everything we went through was not a coincidence. It was something to build us and make us the generals we are today. Salute. True brother is unlike no other. But we got to get to the, it's not sunshine all the time. So that's why we be a student of human nature, of ourselves, and then we can begin to study everyone else, just to get to know. So, we just know how to interact with different brothers, because, beefing, I hate beefing. Beefing is so fucking stupid. And, if we can't get to the solution, or we're not trying to work things out, leave it alone. Don't keep going back and forth, especially if it's on social media. It's just fucking ridiculous, and it takes away from the real enemy, the one deep within, and the one that want to shut the whole, and the one that want to rule the whole damn world. So that's what we need to focus on. Like Malcolm X said in that meditation podcast I did, we all have a common enemy. Again, the one that's deep within ourselves, and the evil entities of the world. So that's why we have to pinpoint our triggers, and what are our triggers? How do we feel about oneself? How do we feel when we see about another brother that might have more than us? How does that make us feel? And I'll use myself as an example. When I first began this walk, I had to filter through all these feelings and all these things. For one, you can't give a shit about social media. You can't give a shit about status. You can't give a shit about materialistic things. There's a lot of things that we have to let go to be a true brother. That's hands down. You can't have ego. You can't be looking to hurt someone, or looking for the wrong in someone, or looking at a brother like who he think he is. No, get to know a brother. Remember, brothers and sisters, sisters too, but remember, brothers, we never know what an individual is going through or been through. Get to know a brother first before we let that little seed of judgment get in us. We assess and figure brothers out, And something I heard from a brother on a platform the only platform I've ever been on, and it's one of the greatest platforms on YouTube. But I heard a brother say on it, I was listening to it maybe a couple of days ago, and it was a brother speaking on this gentleman's platform that I listened to. Actually, that helped me, and he was talking about boundaries. Do a lot of us, that's a good way to pinpoint our triggers. Boundaries. Having healthy boundaries, and having honor and respect. It goes a long way. And if you stepping over the boundary, when I say boundaries, I mean, when you feel it in your gut and you know it's not right, and you're going to either hurt something or someone. We talking about a brother hurting another brother for no reason at all, and you know it's wrong, and you go ahead and do it. Okay, that's when you have crossed the line. That's when you have let your triggers get the best of you. Deal with different feelings we get within ourselves. See where they're coming from. See why we're getting them, and fix them. Unless you don't give a damn, you know. But if you give a damn, you know, and the individual, I'm just giving an example, like we are connecting with a brother, and a certain feeling enters us. See where it's coming from. Why? You know, don't go at the brother. You know, we got to stop that shit as black people, period. But our brothers, we got that bad. We need to search inside ourselves before we jump off of an impulse. Because what'll happen when we jump off a wrong, toxic impulse? We will go through the woulda, coulda, shoulda syndrome. And I don't care who we are. We all have been through that woulda, coulda, shoulda shit. Again, if you're healthy, mind, body, and soul, we shouldn't be going through too many and more of those. But again, if you're healthy and you choose to be toxic or hurt someone, then may God be with you. The real God deep within. I just hope you get it before it's too late. Because that old cliche we always hear, there's no fool like an old fool. So I'm going to give a little advice on maintaining our triggers and watching them. And I want to read a couple summaries. And one summary I read before is about being calm, but I thought it was kind of important because that's a part of maintaining our triggers within ourselves. Because, man, a true brother is definitely unlike no other when it's a real brother. And it's one brother that I want to use for example. And I heard this name on the platform too, but Judge Joe Brown. And he just had a birthday, and he just popped in my spirit. And, you know, again, I heard another brother speak on. Actually, he was on this gentleman's platform I said I've been on. Judge Joe Brown has been on this platform. And, you know, I like to speak in code, but the brother I'm speaking on, if he heard me speaking, he knew who I'm talking about. I'm his foot soldier for life. So that's a hint right there. Only he know that. So, but again, Judge Joe Brown, he just had a birthday. Happy birthday. I already commented on his it was on you know, those YouTube posts where it shows people's birthdays, and you know, and we already know Judge Joe Brown, he real. Now that's the true brother, unlike no other, for real. And I love hearing him speak, and you know, it's wonderful. And I tell you another brother that's real, the gentleman from Sanford and Son that played on Sanford and Son. I can't remember his name. You know, the one that played Lamont. I heard him speak one time, and he spoke some real shit. He dropped some jewels. You know, I love shit like that, man. I love good camaraderie. I love seeing two brothers getting along. It's like gold. That's the most. And it makes you feel warm inside when you see two brothers have good camaraderie. And I seen that on the platform I'm talking about. The only platform ever been on. And the brother I kind of learned, you know, some of the things I picked up. You know, like I said, I've learned things on my own. I've learned things from my family and some teachers. So this brother was one of them. And he had another brother, and they were on there speaking on his platform. And it was the best camaraderie ever. I love that, man. We need more of that, you know? And that's the kind of thing that, let me see, even Usher was speaking on here recently. And you know, I think it was in the media that his microphone shut down during this speech. I bet you that wasn't an accident. But we won't get too far into that. We know how it is. But I salute Usher for having the courage to do that. Because it just get to a point, you know, and many brothers I'm sure can relate to this. It just get to a point in our lives we get tired of the bullshit. And that's person, place, thing. Our awareness broadens. We start to see things over the horizon. I made a podcast about that. When we begin to see things over the horizon and work through the illusion of this so-called matrix, man, we on fire. You know, we rise like an eagle. We soar above this digital toxic world prison. All right, my leaders and teachers, I want to get into this summary about the benefits of a healthy brother, or I'll say brotherhood, or you know, a true brother. You know, if you feel like you can trust your brother, enjoy spending time with your brother, and that they are positive influences in your or our life, you're definitely on the right track. Good brothers are based on mutual respect, honesty, and support, and also knowing our boundaries. I'm gonna throw that in there. You know, don't like I'm gonna use. I mean, in the world in general, but I'm gonna use social media as an example because it happens a lot. Trolling. Now, this is something I never do. I haven't been in a chat room and I don't know how long. It's been a while. And I don't troll. I don't do that. And I've heard people on platforms say people come and troll and other names. And that's so fucking ridiculous. That's crossing the bound. That's not having boundaries and crossing the line. If you go in someone's chat room with malice intentions and with under another name and all that, I mean, come on. You lost. You're definitely not in tune with oneself. So that's why we have to stay in tune with our triggers so we won't be doing things like that. That's how powerful this social media can be. But to me, that's small and petty, but that is a part of watching our triggers. But in life in general, we can do this in life in general. Watch those boundaries in life, watch those confrontations we come into, set back, think about it, think about the future, the outcome. I gave an example about that, but when I got in a car accident, and the brother and me, both of us were calm and nothing happened, but I won't get into that. But that's a part of being a true brother. All right, I'm going to continue. You're definitely on the right track when you have a positive brother that influences your or our life. Good brothers are based, and we talking about biological or just brothers that just knew each other for life, or maybe not knowing each other that long, but just have that brotherly connection, because you have that. I've had that. Good brothers are based on mutual respect, honesty, and support, helping each other with each other's challenges and celebrating each other's successes. And man, that's beautiful. And see, that's when we have to work through the jealous feelings, the envious feelings, the ego. We got to work through that shit. We have to have divine confidence. That's why I say connect to that divine force deep within, that voice that tell us, gotta listen to that voice. That's what I use that same example with my 9-year-old. We gotta listen to that voice. A lot of us hear that voice. We're not dummies, but some of us are stupid and try to override it and think we're gonna not like we're the ones that's not gonna have karma. No, karma rules over everyone. It just depends on how we live our life and how we are as a person. So just be a true brother, unlike no other. And things come soon or they come later. But when you put out righteous, positive energy, not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Righteous things always come back, as well as evil things. And how do we know this? Just look at some of the people in the media, maybe some artists, maybe some celebs. Look at the things that came back down on them because of the bad, rotten things they were putting out, even in secret. Because I don't know why people think when they do things in secret, things won't happen to them. And I feel this in my soul, and some of us have experienced this. There's a positive force out there, or some kind of force, and I've said this 1,000 times, whatever we harbor deep within, good or bad, but that's what will come back. Depending on how bad and evil it is, it'll be how hard that hammer of that great divine will come down. So I don't have to get too far into that. Again, if you don't want your life, if you want chaos, go ahead and live an evil ass, toxic ass life, and let me know how that work out for you. Because been there, done that, as many of us have. That's why we so strong out here. That's why we got so many strong brothers, and that's in our family and outside our families. Because man, a true brother, man, it's unlike no other. And I want to read this other little summary. I read it before on another podcast, but I think it's important. And the podcast was the benefits of having a calm state of mind. But I wanted to read it again because I think it's a part of helping with controlling our triggers and things we feel within. Okay, calming down can reduce the levels of cortisol. I got to look that up too, cortisol. That's going to be another show because, to be honest, I don't really know. I kind of know what that means, but don't know exactly what that means. Okay. Calming down can reduce the levels of cortisol. Remember, I read this summary before, so if you hear it on another podcast. Calming down can reduce the levels of cortisol and adrenaline hormones. See, and before people are thinking about doing something wrong, if you're healthy, mind, body, and soul, these are the things we should do before we jump off an impulse. Because we're just going to regret it later. I mean, no one is more powerful than that force out there that shows us when we do wrong. None of us can outrun that. We might think we are outrunning that karma for a while, but karma just sit back laughing at you, just waiting. So that's all we have to calm down, pay attention to things. And okay, Reduce the levels of cortisol and adrenaline hormones. Calming down does this, which can help with anxiety. And anxiety is attached to things that trigger us, make us want to do the wrong thing, and make it easier to focus. It can also help to stop overactive brain waves that can make it hard to think clearly. And that's what people who are evil, like I said, they can't be intelligent. How can you be intelligent when you choose wrong over right? That is not intelligence. That's thinking that you're better than that great divine. That's thinking you can outdo a force that developed and made us, that's more powerful than us. Again, I always like to say, if you think you're more powerful than that great divine, or you think you're God, you're a fool. You're going to get it the worst. Yes, we can be parallel with that God force deep within. But that force, we have to stay in a certain mind state, a calm state. So again, like that definition, like the summary just said, so we can see clearly, so we can see things. That's not just in the world. It's the most important place of all, within ourselves. So we can see the little kinks and weaknesses in ourselves. Because what happens when we don't deal with shit deep within? They will pop out. It's like a bomb waiting to explode. So like I heard a great brother on a platform, I said, the only platform I've ever been on, he had a situation where he thought a brother was real and ended up being fake and toxic. And that's terrible, man. It really is. It's terrible. That's why I say, if I have something that I'm dealing with myself, I deal with it. I don't like to be projected on. So that's what I don't do. I don't project what I feel onto others. I deal with shit. And it's a vow that I made to that great divine that one will never be distracted, or I will never teach off of emotion, off of something that hurt me. Because hurt people. So we have to deal whatever it is that hurts us inside. And we have to have clarity and see it. We have to deal with oneself, even when it's not easy. It's better that way, and you'll thank yourself later. So go back to what I said, what happened to this brother. And it's terrible. I hate hearing shit like that, especially when a brother ain't done nothing to you, or anyone that's had a brother come up against them, for no reason, and just that beefing shit. I don't like beefing. I don't like it in hip hop. And I swear, black people, we the only ones. We're only genre of music that has beefing. That needs to cease. We need to get rid of beefing. Anybody that's beefing, put them off in the corner with the other one. Let them beef with each other. Don't let ourselves be drawn into it. Because beefing is what? Negative energy. And what does negative energy? Stops everything. It slows everything down. So it grounds things out where we can't get nowhere. We can't think. We're evil and we're evil within. Man, woo. I don't see how people live like that. And, I'm not perfect. I don't do everything right, but I'm not this rotten to the core, brother. I'm not looking to do wrong and all that. No, I'm looking to go higher. And man, the things I've been through, why would we want to go back to the old way of thinking? Man, I'm telling you, it's just beautiful when we are thinking clarity. When we are thinking clear and have clarity. And we can laugh at oneself like I just did. That's when you truly are authentic and you have found your divine self. When you can laugh at yourself and you're not so uptight and you're not looking to hurt no one and doing wrong to people. And that's doing wrong to sisters too now. We got to treat our sisters right, And when we true to oneself and we have some awareness, we'll know what sister's right and we'll know what sister's wrong. But we have to have that willpower. We have to study human nature so we can be prepared and ready for these things. That's another story I heard on this brother's platform I was talking about. He had a gentleman on there that was talking about a situation he was in with a sister and, ended up down the road. It wasn't right, but he did all he could before he left that situation. And that's what a true brother does. They do everything they can. They exhaust all their resources, what they with a sister. And if it don't work out, sometimes it's just not meant to be. But we have to stay the course, at least to see, so we can say we tried, So, and that's a part of being a true brother like no other. No, when we at least try. And some of us are still with our sisters and some of them didn't make it. But guess what? A true brother still be friends with that sister and don't be bitter. Same way with the sister. A true sister still can be friends. You don't have to be bitter because we break up and all that. That's ridiculous. That shows a sign of maturity when you can still get along, especially if we have children, when you can still get along and remember, it's about the children. It's not about our little petty ass feelings. Excuse me. To clear my throat. It's not about our little petty ass feelings and how we feel. It's about the overall picture. Because we do righteous in the present, always and forever, benefit us in the future. So that's why we have to study our triggers and stay right as we possibly can. And again, it'll become second nature. Won't even have to try. So I wanted to speak on my banner here. And it's just a representation of two brothers that are with each other. And they got the brother behind him because he got his back. And the brother in front, he don't have to turn around because he got him. And I'm that type of brother. Might not talk a lot, might not comment a lot, might not see me a lot, but I'm one of them brothers you'll never have to worry about. As I said in the past, I'm like a righteous sniper. I'll be there when something trying to come at you. I'll be there to pow. Like Chuck Norris was in Expendables when he shot the evil person that was trying to shoot Sylvester Stallone before Sylvester Stallone couldn't even blink. Chuck Norris shot him, pow, and that's me right there. So, and because I've dealt with oneself, I dealt with the ego and things that make me feel like I shouldn't feel and all that kind of stuff. We have to deal with those triggers, because it'll manifest in our adulthood. That's why we gotta learn them young. I'm thankful that Great Divine. There's many of our brothers out here. Salute. Be thankful if you learn some things at a young age, because I was fortunate to do that. Did a lot of wrong things, but I did start kind of wising up at a young age. But it was still a battle, But I started wising up, and a Great Divine just stayed in there. I listened to that voice sometimes. So be thankful, my brothers. If you, man, just think of all the times you listen to that divine voice deep within that said, Because again, man, a true brother is unlike no other. And do whatever we can to maintain our triggers and stay the powerful brothers that we are. Salute.